we shall be rounding up pricing decision. Our class last week, what this topic is trying to look at is how do companies determine the price for their products? Of course, as accountants, we are involved in this process. How do Nigerian bottling companies determine the price of Coke? That a bottle of Coke should sell for 500 naira. What are the variables? What are the factors this company will consider in coming to the right price? We explained this last week. We said pricing is a very sensitive aspect of decision for all companies. Setting the price is a very delicate decision. This is because the price of your products will have impacts on the volume of sales. And you are not the only producer. We have competitive products. In reality, no product is monopolistic in nature. There is always alternative. The only difference is that the alternative may not be strong enough, but in life there's alternative. If you talk of Coke, you have Pepsi, you have American Cola, you have other colas. But some might prefer the brand Coca-Cola. Name the products, there's going to be a competitive or an alternative product. Setting a price is a very, very sensitive decision because your price will determine number of customers that will patronize your products. The number of customers will have impact on your revenue. Your revenue will have impact on your profitability. We explained this last week. We discussed method of pricing. Last week we looked at cost plus pricing method. Cost plus pricing method. We discussed under the cost plus. Or what is cost plus? A method of pricing whereby the cost of the product is estimated. Cost plus pricing method. A method of pricing whereby the cost of the product is estimated. Thereafter, a percentage markup will be added to this estimated cost. The percentage markup represents your profit margin. Your cost plus the percentage markup will give you your selling price. We explained this last week. Under the cost plus, you have full cost plus pricing method, marginal cost plus pricing method, and we have return on investment pricing method. Tonight, we shall be looking at theoretical approach to pricing. When we say theoretical approach, we are looking at calculating pricing from the viewpoint of the economist. When we say we want to use economic theory to determine the price of a product, that should be the focus tonight. From microeconomic viewpoints, a firm should set a selling price that maximizes its profits. From the microeconomic viewpoint, a company should set a selling price. That selling price that will maximize your profits. Because companies are in business so as to maximize profit. It is believed that companies are in business to make the highest profits. Hence, a company should set a selling price. That selling price that will ensure that you make the highest profits. At what price will the company maximize profits? At what price will a company maximize profits? The price at the level of sales, where the marginal revenue equals the marginal cost. The price that maximizes profits is that price at the level of sales, where your marginal revenue equals your marginal cost. So if you are trying to maximize profits, if you are trying to get the price that will maximize your profit, you are going to pick the marginal revenue, equate it to the marginal cost. At the point of equation, you are going to get the level of sales that maximizes profits. The volume of sales at which the company will maximize profits. What is marginal cost? Marginal cost is the additional cost incurred by producing an additional unit of products. Marginal cost. The additional cost incurred by producing an extra unit of products. Our marginal cost is the summation of all variable costs. Next, what is marginal revenue? How can we derive marginal revenue? Our marginal revenue is the additional revenue. Additional revenue achieved or earned by selling one extra unit of the company's products. Your marginal revenue, the additional revenue earned by a company by selling one extra unit. You can derive your marginal revenue. Marginal revenue can be derived as a differentiation of the total revenue function. Differential calculus of the total revenue function. To get your marginal revenue function, you are going to calculate the YDS, derivative of the revenue function with respect to quantity of sales. You now derive your marginal revenue. Now, how can we derive this? First, you must get your price function. Your price function is also known as the demand function. Your price function is also known as the demand function. Your price function is inversely related to demand. The price function says that the higher the price, the lower the quantity demanded. And the lower the price, the higher the quantity demanded. So the price is inversely related to quantity demanded. Your price function is given as the price function or equation is given as P is equal to A plus BQ. At times, you might use P is equal to A minus BQ. At the end of the day, you are still going to get the price function will be A minus BQ, where your P represents the price per unit currently. Your small letter A represents the selling price at which demand will be zero. The selling price, your small letter A, that is the selling price at which the demand will be zero. Your small letter B, change in price over change in quantity. If you look at that, letter B is equal to minus change in price over change in quantity. That negative sign implies that relationship between price and quantity is indirect, that is inverse. If price is rising, quantity demand will fall. That is opposite relationship. If price is falling, demand for the product will rise. Your Q represents your quantity. Let me scroll up small. So we have defined the price function. So get your revenue function. Your revenue, if you remember, revenue is quantity sold multiplied by the selling price. Our total revenue, the total revenue is quantity sold multiplied by the selling price. You now get your revenue function. You can replace the letter P with the price equation. The price equation is A plus BQ. The sign will change later. Then your marginal revenue. Your marginal revenue is calculated as a differentiation. Differentiating the expression for total revenue function with respect to quantity. When you derive your marginal revenue, you now equate this to your marginal cost in order to determine the volume of sales that will maximize your profit. Please check your speaker and mute. When you derive your marginal revenue, you now equate this to your marginal costs. At the point of equation, you are going to get the volume of sales that will maximize your profit. Then, when you get the volume of sales, you can now return back to the price function so as to determine the price that will maximize our profits. This is theoretical approach to pricing. All right, we are done with the explanation. Next is to look at questions. We are done with the explanation. Our next function or our next task is to look at questions. All right. We shall start with the question that was shared this evening or this afternoon. Please go to your group chats. We shared a question today. Let us look at this question together. If you go to the WhatsApp group chat, this material was shared today. It was the question tested last diet. This question was tested November diet 2025. ICAN tested question. Now let us review this question together. Are we good to go, please?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you. John Nigerian Limited is launching a new innovative products into the market, and we need to decide on the right price for the products. The product expected life is 3 years. Given the high level of cost which has been incurred in developing the products, John Nigerian Limited want to ensure that it sets its price at the right level, and has therefore consulted a market research company to help it do this. The research, which relates to similar but non-identical products launched by other companies, has revealed that at a price of 60 naira, annual demand will be expected to be 250,000 units. However, for every 2 naira increase in selling price, demand will be expected to fall by 2,000 units. And for every 2 naira decrease in selling price, demand will be expected to increase by 2,000 units. A forecast of the annual production cost, which will be incurred by John Limited in relation to the new product, as follows. We have annual production 200,000 units, 250,000 units, 300,000 units, 350,000 units. Direct material cost given for each of the level. Direct labor cost also given. Overhead cost given. Requirement 1. Calculates the total variable cost per unit and total fixed overhead. Oh, excuse me, please. Let us deal with requirement A. Total variable cost per unit. Now, how can we identify, or how can we determine that a cost is variable? How can we determine that a cost is variable, or the cost is fixed, or the cost is mixed? If you recall our first topic, cost estimation technique, we said for you to identify variable cost or fixed cost or mixed cost, you must carry out a test of cost behavior. For those that are in class, you are going to test for cost behavior. How do we test for cost behavior? You are going to take the cost to per unit. It is the per unit that will tell you our pen, please. Okay. First, the first assignment to do here. Text for cost behavior. Look at it. We have volume. We have 200,000. That is unit. We have 300,000. And we have 350,000. Now pick your direct material cost. Total. Okay, I will even copy it to make it faster. Please allow me to do small thing here. Like I make it faster. Let me copy this like this. Instead of writing, I just copy this. Instead of writing and taking time, we are just trying to save time. Paste. All right. I want to test for cost behavior. Take the cost to per unit. Material cost per unit. Oh, I've not picked the pen. Material cost per unit. Please, your calculator. Look at it. Volume 200,000. Total material cost 2.4 million. 2.4 divided by 200,000. What is material cost per unit? Oh yeah.
12 naira.
12 naira. Next, 3 million divided by 250,000. What is material cost per unit?
12 naira.
12 naira also. Next, 3.6 million divided by 300. Material cost per unit. 12 naira. Next, check again.
12 naira.
12 naira. Now, please note, if you calculate cost per unit, and the cost per unit is the same at all level of production, when we produce 200,000 level, material cost per unit 12 naira. When we produce 250,000 units, material cost per unit 12 naira. When we move to 300,000, cost per unit material 12 naira. And the cost per unit is the same. That will tell you that material cost is a variable cost. That implies that that cost is a variable cost. Look at it. Material cost is a variable cost because the cost per unit of material is constant. Next, move to labor. Test again. Pick the volume. Then go and pick the total labor cost. I'll copy this. You can paste it here. Now, let us calculate labor cost per unit. Let us calculate labor cost per unit. Labor cost per unit. This is Naira amount. Total labor cost 1.2 divided by 200,000. What is labor cost per unit?
6 Naira.
6 Naira. Next, 1.5 divided by 250. What is labor cost per unit?
6 Naira.
6
Next.
Naira.
Next again.
6 Naira.
Thank you. What type of cost is this?
Variable cost.
Thank you. Once you observe that as volume increases, but the cost per unit is the same at every level of production. If you like, do 200,000 units, or do 250, or do 300. Labor cost per unit is the same. Labor cost is a variable cost. Next, we have overhead cost. We need to test this also. Pick your units. Then go and pick the overhead cost total. You come here. Now, let us get overhead cost per unit. Take the cost to per unit. Overhead per unit. 1.4 divided by 200,000. What do you have? So 2 decimal places, if there's points. This is 7 Naira.
7 Naira.
7 Naira.
Next,
6.2.
6.2 Naira.
6.2. Next,
5.67.
5.67. Next,
5.29.
Okay, 2928.
29.
You observe that as the volume of production increases, overhead cost per unit falls. Is that not? Hello.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Correct.
As the volume increases, overhead cost per unit falls. This implies that this is a confirmation that this overhead cost is a missed cost. Overhead cost is a missed cost containing both variable and fixed overheads. If you observe that as your volume is increasing, the cost per unit is falling, that implies that that cost is a missed cost. In this case, we need to separate. In this case, the overhead costs must be separated using high and low method. Using high and low method. For those that started the class, I told you that I said this cost estimation techniques is a topic that you must try to understand because it can enter any topic. In our count to high and low method, we need to separate this. High, low, volume, overhead cost. Look at it here. The highest production volume, 350,000 units. The overhead cost 1,850,000. You pick that. Overhead cost 50. Lowest level 200,000. The lowest production level 200,000. Overhead cost 1.4 million. You pick that. 1,400,000. Now look for the differences in volume. 150,000 units. What is the differences in overhead cost?
450,000.
450,000. Now get your variable overhead cost per unit. Variable overhead cost per unit is equal to differences in cost, 450,000. Differences in volume, 150,000. This will give me 3 naira.
3 naira.
That is the variable overhead cost per unit. Now, I need to separate the cost. I've gotten variable overhead per unit. And I need to look at total variable overhead so as to get total fixed. You can either do this at the highest level or the lowest level. At high level, total variable overhead is equal to At high level, we are going to produce 350,000 units. Variable overhead per unit, 3 naira. Please multiply. What is total variable overhead?
1,050.
050. Am I correct? Hello.
Yes, correct.
Yes, sir.
You're correct, sir.
Good. Now, look at it. At high level, total overhead is 1,850,000. And we said this cost, this 1,850,000 includes variable and fixed. Now look at it. If total variable is 1,050,000, what is total fixed? If total variable out of 1,850,000,
800.
total variable
800.
800,000. 800,000.
then total fixed overhead is equal to 1,850,000 minus 1,050,000. That will give me 800,000. So my total variable cost per unit, total variable cost per unit is, I will pick direct material cost per unit, 12 naira. Direct labor cost, 6 naira per unit. Variable overhead cost per unit, 3 naira. Please sum up. That will give you total variable cost per unit. This is 21 naira.
21.
Then my total fees, total fixed overhead, 800,000. You have answered requirement A. Look at it, sir. Calculate the total variable cost per unit and total fixed overhead. We have resolved requirements A. Any question, please? If there is no question, we move to requirement 2. If there is no question, we can move to requirement B. That appears some. All right, thank God it is clear. Now requirement B. Calculate the optimum selling price for the new products and calculate the resulting profits. Calculate optimum selling price for the new products and calculate the resulting profits for the period. Note, price is equal to A minus B, A minus 2BX. Now, what is optimum selling price? Selling price that we maximize our profits. A selling price that will give us the highest profits. Now, if I'm looking for a selling price that will maximize the company's profits, then I'm going to look for the marginal revenue and the marginal costs. At the point of equation, we can get a price that maximizes profits. If I'm looking for selling price that maximizes profits, then I must go and get the marginal revenue and get the marginal cost. I will now equate both, I will equate the two. At the point of equation, there is going to be a level of sales that maximizes profits. Let's go to this business. Let's go to this business. For me to get marginal revenue, I will need to get total revenue first. Requirement B. Calculation of optimum selling price. First, what is my price function? Price function. Examiner say P is equal to A minus BX, where P is the current price, small letter A is the price at which is 0. Small letter A is the price at which demand is 0. Your B, change in price over change in quantity over change in quantity. Your X is the quantity. No space here. Not possible. There must be space. So, there must be space. We got to create space. So let's go to this. If you look at it, what is the price at a price of, what is the price currently? Look at the question. Research has revealed that at price of 60 naira, annual demand will be expected to be 250,000 units. For every 2 naira increase in price, demand will fall by 2,000. And for every 2 naira decrease in selling price, demand will rise by 2,000 units. We can come here. Look at it at a price, current price at 60 naira. Quantity is 250,000 units. If the price change by 2 naira, change in price 2, what happened to quantity? 2,000 units. Change in price over change in quantity. We don't know the price at which demand will be 0. We must derive that first. Please, 2 divided by 2,000, 0.0 what? 0.001. Am I correct? Hello.
Yes, 0.001.
Please let the response come so that at least you know that you have somebody at that place at the other end listening. Now you now go back and equate these variables. Substitute this variable here. P 60 is equal to A unknown. I don't know. Minus my B 0.001 bracket X 250,000. Please determine price at which the demand will be 0. This is 60 is equal to A minus 250. Therefore, A is equal to 60 plus 250, which is equal to 310. At a price of 310 naira, the demand will be 0. You can now get your price equation. Our price function is P is equal to, what is A now? When we say price function, you are going to derive the letter A and letter B. The letter A is now 310 minus the letter B is now 0.0101. Then key X. This is the price function. The price is equal to 310 minus 0.01x. You are going to derive the price equation. You may ask yourself, but we have price of 60 naira. Why not put the 60 naira there? Or why not put the quantity 250,000 units? This is not this price, 60 naira. It's not the price, it's not the optimum price. This quantity, 250,000 units, is not the optimum quantity. The question says, calculate the optimum selling price. The 60 naira is not the optimum selling price. We only use the information to derive our price function. This information is only used to derive your price equation. Question, please. Any question, please? Just 1 minute. Now you have gotten your. Now let's get revenue. Let us get revenue. Our revenue total revenue is equal to price multiplied by, let me use this word, price multiplied by quantity. My total revenue is equal to, now I've gotten the price. The price is equal to 310 minus 0.001x. I can do like this, remove letter P. 310 minus 0.001 into bracket x. Okay, there's x here also. Price multiplied by quantity. They allow me to take this very well. Zero 0.001 x into bracket x. If you open the bracket, total revenue is equal to x multiplied by 310. 310x minus 0.001 x squared. This is your revenue function. Your total revenue function. Total revenue is equal to 310x minus 0.001 x squared. From your total revenue, you can derive marginal revenue. Please watch this. We call it differentiation. That is the differential calculus. When we call the y the x, please look at this very well. It is not difficult. Just try to master it. Marginal revenue is equal to, you start from here. Look at this x. There's This x is raised to power 1. This raised to power, the figure here is called 1 power. You now multiply the power by the coefficient. Coefficient is the number in front of variables. 1 multiplied by 310. That will give you 310. The power multiplied by the coefficient. 1 multiplied by 310, that's 310. Now, minus 1 for here. This is the rule of differential calculus. Minus 1 for here. 1 minus 1, that becomes 0. So you are going to have x raised to power 0. Under the law of indices, any number raised to power 0 is what?
1.
1. You now have 1. 1 multiplied by 310. We give you 310. You have resolved this aspect of the equation. Look at the second equation. Take your minus. Look at the power. 2 multiplied by 0.001. That will give 0.002. Then minus 1. You are left with x raised to power 1. Under the law of indices, any number raised to power 1 is equal to that number. Therefore, this becomes what? X. This is your marginal revenue function. You have derived this from your total revenue function. This is, you have got marginal revenue. But this question, examiner even gave you the clue. Examiner say, look at it. Examiner says, marginal revenue is equal to what? Examiner is even aware that
A minus 2bx.
We can return here. Examiner say marginal revenue. If you want to follow examiner style, marginal revenue is equal to A minus 2bx. What is your letter A? Our letter A is 310. We have calculated. Look at it here. Letter A is 310. What's our letter B? Our letter B, 0.001. Come here. 2 bracket 0.001 bracket x. Work this out. Marginal revenue is equal to 310 minus 0.001x. The examiner has done the differential calculus for you.
0.002, sir.
Oh, 2, thank you. This question tested last direct. The examiner has done the differential calculus for you. In some questions, they won't do it for you. You have to now do it yourself, as demonstrated above. We say, or, look at it. Here, we solve ourselves. Demonstrating differential calculus. Here, we just pick the examiner information. You have gotten your marginal revenue. Remember to maximize profit. To maximize profit, marginal revenue must equal to marginal cost. Your marginal revenue figure, 310 minus 0.002x is equal to your marginal cost you have calculated. That is the variable cost per unit. Look at it here. 21 naira. Marginal cost is the addition of all variable costs. This is 21. What is X? Collect items. Negative 0.002 is equal to 21 minus 310. Negative 0.002 is equal to negative what? 289. Please reconfirm. I have it here. I hope it's correct.
Yes, sir.
Now, negative, we cancel out negative. Our X is equal to 289 divided by 0.002. What is X? One four four 500. I hope I'm correct.
Yes, sir.
This is the level of sales that we maximize profits. Level of sales that maximize profits is 144,500 units. What we are saying is you don't need to sell 250,000 units. If you are trying to get the highest profit, your level of sales will be 144,500. At this level of sales, what is the price? Now go back to the price function. What's our price function? Look at the price. P is equal to 310 minus 0.001 x. Therefore, P 310 minus 0.001 x. X is now 144,500. P is equal to 310 minus 0.001 bracket 144. P is equal to 310 minus 144.5. Please, what is P? 165.5. That is the optimum selling price. The optimum selling price is 165.5. The optimum quantity is 144,500 units. At this point, what is the resulting profit? At the optimum selling price, what is our resulting profit? Look at it. Resulting total profits. Pick your selling price per unit. Selling price is 165.50. Your variable cost per unit ₦21. Contribution per unit. Please, the difference. $44.50. Our level of sales 144,500 units. Therefore, total contribution 144,500 multiplied by 44.5. Please work this out. What is total contribution? 20 million. Yes.
880, 250. 880, 250.
880, 250. To get my profit, I will less my fixed overhead, less fixed overhead, 800,000. What is the total profit? Contribution less fixed cost. 20
280.
million.
250.
080 250. You are done with the requirement B. This is the profits. That means if the company set a selling price of 165 naira 50 kobo, the company can sell 144,500 units, and the company will maximize its profits. You are done with that requirement. Any question, clarifications? Otherwise, we move to the next requirement B.
Sorry, sir. How do you get the volumes of sales?
Or the volume is here.
Yes,
That is your X now. Please always ask question. Oh. It's good. Oh. Look at it. How we got the 144. Look at it. Look at it. To maximize profit, marginal revenue equal marginal cost. We now pick marginal revenue. Look at the marginal revenue. 310 minus 0.002x is equal to marginal cost. Your variable cost per unit, 21. That's clear, sir. We now solve for x. We collect like arms. You know, mathematics. This half x, no x, no x. Collect like terms. We now pick 310 across minus 0.002 is equal to 21 minus 310. We now did like this. 21 minus 310 gave us minus 289. We now minus cancel out minus. What is your x? 289 divided by 0.002. Please divide. What do you have?
$144,500.
That is the level of sales that we maximize profits. I hope it's clear now.
Yes, sir.
Please, can you re-explain that equation that we derived? Can you re-explain it, sir? Sorry.
That is how we get the marginal revenue fund.
Yes, sir. Yeah, exactly, sir. Exactly, sir. Thank you.
Okay, fine. I said for this particular question, examiner gave you the marginal revenue. But in case you are not giving, because most questions they won't give you, to get your marginal revenue, you are going to start from your price function. Look at what we did here. You are going to start from the price. Examiner said the price function is P is equal to A minus BX. Your letter P means the current price now. Your small letter A means price at which demand will be zero. Your small letter B means change in price over change in quantity. Your letter S represents quantity. You now go back to the question. Examiner says, at a price of 60 naira, the quantity demanded will be 250. We now say, if price is 60, quantity is 250,000. Also, the question says, if the price increased by 2 naira, demand will fall by 2,000 units. Change in price, 2 naira. Change in quantity, 2,000 units. That becomes 2 over 2,000. If you divide that, you are going to get 0.001. We now said we need to get the price at which demand will be zero. We don't know the price. Now say, okay, our P, we now get an equation. Our P is 60. Our small letter A unknown minus our B 0.01. Our letter X quantity 250,000 units. We now work this out. For the purpose of deriving small letter A, if you multiply 0.00 and multiply by 250,000, you have 250 naira. We now solve for A, collect like terms. If you move A to this side, it becomes plus 60 plus 250. That will give us 310. That is the price at which the demand will be 0. Now you have gotten your small letter A. You now return so as to derive your price equation. Our price equation, price is equal to small letter A. Small letter A is now 310. Remove small letter A, introduce 310 minus small letter B, 0.001 x. This is the price equation. And I said, you may be wondering, why don't we just put 250,000 here? That will not work, because what we are looking for is a price that will give us the highest profit, optimum selling price. So you are going to get your price equation first. We now come to revenue function. Our revenue is price multiplied by quantity. Our revenue is price multiplied by quantity. We now say, okay, we know the price to be, price is equal to 310 minus 0.01x. Remove letter P. Substitute 310 minus 0.001x. Multiply by x. Open your 10x minus x multiplied by 0.01x. That becomes 0.01x squared. That is your total revenue. You now want to derive your marginal revenue. You are not going to use differential calculus. How do I do this? I said, please, just try to master it. Let me do it again now. Now look at it too. I'll take this off. I'll take this off. I'll take this. I'll take this. And I want to do differential calculus. This x, it has 1 year. It has invisible 1, raised to power of 1. You now do like this. The power you have multiplied by the coefficient. Coefficient is the figure in front of a variable. 1 multiplied by 310. That will give you 310. They now say minus 1. That is how to differentiate. Differential calculus. 1 minus 1. That will give me s raised to power 0. Under the law of indices, any number raised to power 0 is equal to 1. This will be equal to 1. 1 multiplied multiply by 310 and still have 310. You now come to the second part. This have power of 2. The power multiplied by the coefficient. 2 multiplied by 0.001. That will give me 0.002. You now say minus 1. That will give you x raised to power 1. X raised to power 1 is equal to x. So you have marginal revenue. 310 minus 0.002x. That is how to use differential calculus. The sales director is unconvinced that the selling price calculated in B above is the right one to charge. Initial launch of the product. He believes that a high price should be charged at launch so that those customers who are prepared to pay a higher price for the product can be skimmed off first. Requirements. Discuss the conditions which make price skimming a more suitable pricing strategy for John Nigerian Limited. Look at it. What conditions that will make price skimming a more suitable pricing strategy for a company? Recommend whether John Limited should adopt this approach instead. So, what are the conditions that will make market price skimming suitable for a company? What are the conditions that will make price skimming strategy suitable for a company to use? If you look at the question, can John Nigerian Limited do a price skimming? What is price skimming? Yes, any opinion? Yes, let me hear your view. Let me hear from you. We did this last week.
Good evening, sir.
Yes.
Price skimming is
Good evening.
when you are trying to launch a product into the market and you are trying to set a high price for the product. One of the conditions that may make it suitable is when you have a market, when you are the only one in the market, that is you monopolize the market. You can set any price since you don't have competitors in the market.
Okay. according to Mr. Gabriel, he said, he correctly said, price skimming is when you are launching a new product and you are charging higher price. He now went further to say, one of the conditions that we make price skimming suitable is that you monopolize the market. That is, your product does not have a rival product in the market. There is no rival product. I agree with him to some extent. What other conditions will make price skimming suitable? Yes.
Good evening, sir.
Oh, yeah.
If the product,
you are on.
the product is well differentiated from other products, you can use that strategy. It means that yes. Hello, sir.
Yes, we are here. We can hear you.
Yeah, if it's differentiated from other products, just for instance, we have the like Apple. You will see that it is a class on its own, so it's easier for them to charge higher price for any new version of their products because it is obviously that it is just single in the market of the iOS, and also it could be used where it is necessity as well. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for your view. That where your product can be, I will use where your products can be uniquely differentiated. He cited the example of Apple, that the operating software of that company or the operating system is unique. Any other opinion?
When it's very difficult for competitor to enter into the market, like as a
That's
result
also
of
good. Mr. Gabriel said, yes, we can hear you. You can go ahead, Gabriel.
Yes, sir. What I'm trying to say is that as a result of some conditions for other competitors, like stringent conditions, like the cost of the products or the environment, that it is very, very difficult for some other competitors to just enter into the market. This condition make it for the market, for the product to enter the market through skimming, since it's very difficult for other competitors to enter the market.
All right, thank you, sir. That if it is difficult for competitors to produce similar products, particularly if there's stringent conditions, or if the cost of production is too high, some company may not be able to come and do the same production. For that reason, you can skim the market. I agree with that point. Yes, Coyote. You can go ahead and speak, Alabi.
Okay, sir. So what I understand with market scheming is that it is charging of like what we said last week, charging of high price when the product is first introduced, and then the company, at that point spends heavily on advertisement, and then the major objective is to make a lot of profit at the first time in which the product is launched into the market.
Okay. We agree with you. Now the question today is, what conditions will make price scheming successful? You have explained price scheming. What are the conditions that will be in place that will give a company the opportunity to charge higher price? Let's look at this. We have tried. Look at the response. As the sales director suggests, market scheming is a strategy which initially charges higher prices for the products in order to take advantage of those buyers who want to buy it as soon as possible and prepare to pay higher price. If certain conditions exist, suitable one could be a suitable one for John. What are these conditions? 1, when a product is different, that is the point you can differentiate your products. The product is new and can be uniquely differentiated. So the customer are prepared to pay high prices in order to gain the perceived value of owning the product early. If you look at some people, they buy phone. Once a new phone is released in the market, they rush to buy it. If a new car is released in the market, they will rush to buy. So the product is new and differentiated. All we know about John Limited product is that it is innovative. Point number 2, when products have a short life cycle, this strategy is more likely to be used because of the need to recover development costs and make profits quickly. If the products have a short life cycle, like if you look at phones, if a new phone is released today, in the next 6 months, another phone will be released to the market. Products like that, you need to charge high price. You need to scheme the market. Point number 3, when high prices in the early stage of a product life cycle are expected to generate high initial cash inflows, In this case, scheming will be useful to John. Useful to help John Limited recover the high initial development cost. Examiner says development cost of this product is very high. In order for John to cover its cost early, it is better to do market scheming. Because the cost is high, because the cost of developing the product is very high, that can serve as a barrier to entry. When barriers to entry exist, that was the point Gabriel was trying to make. Where there are conditions, stringent conditions, that make it difficult for new manufacturer to enter the business, or for competitor to come in. Barriers exist with other competitors from entering the market. Otherwise, they will be enticed by high prices. This might include prohibitively high investment costs, patent protection. If the investment cost product is too high, some companies will not be willing to go into it, take the patent rights to be a sole producer. Or you have unusually strong brand loyalty. If your product has unusually strong brand loyalty, people are willing to buy it. Regardless of the price you are charging. According to the information given above, high development costs were involved in this case, which will be a barrier to entry. In that case, the company can charge high price. However, we are not sure of the sensitivity of demand to price. We don't know how the higher price, the impact of higher price on demand. Sensitivity of demand to higher price, we don't know. We have discussed this before. These are recycled now. Why? So these are the factors John will consider before he decides whether to do price skimming. Look at these points. In the case of John Limited, market research has been carried out to establish a price. However, this information is based on the launch of a similar but identical products, but not identical products. So it is not really known how accurate it will be able to cover the higher initial development cost, which it has incurred. The product in this case only have a 3-year life cycle, which makes it fairly short. What we are saying is, John can try to charge a higher price, but how customer will react to this higher price, we don't know. All right. Any question, please? I'm not sure we can accommodate one more question. Just 30 minutes. I'm not sure we can take this question. Let's try. Let's try. Please go to your study pack. I think question number 3. Let's see. Page 70 something. Yeah, page 72, illustration 3. Page 72, illustration 3. Page 72, illustration 3. Please, can we confirm that?
Yes, confirm.
Okay, let's try it. Anywhere we get to, you can always complete it. ICAN Co specializes in the production of a range of air conditioning appliances for industrial premises. It is about to launch a new product, the energy booster, a unique air conditioning unit, which is capable of providing unprecedented levels of air conditioning using a minimal amount of electricity. The technology used in the energy booster is so unique. ICAN has patented it so that no competitor can enter the market for 2 years. The company's development costs have been high, and it's expected that the product will only have a 5-year life cycle. ICAN is now trying to ascertain the best pricing policy that they should adopt for the energy booster launch onto the market. Demand is very responsive to price changes, and research has established that for every 15 naira increase in price, demand will be expected to fall by 1,000 units. 35 naira, only 1,000 units will be demanded. Cost of producing each air conditioning unit: direct material cost, direct labor, 12 naira bracket, 1.5 hours of labor at a rate of 8 naira per hour. Fixed overhead, 6 naira. See notes. The first air conditioning units took 1.5 hours, 1.5 hours to make. Labor cost 8 naira per hour. A 95% learning. Learning curve exists in relation to production of the units. Although the learning curve is expected to finish after making 100 units. ICAN management have said that any pricing decision, look at that one. ICAN management have said that any pricing decision about the energy booster should be based on the time it takes to make the 100 units. Please underline that word. The 100 units of the product. You have been told that the learning coefficient is B as given. All other costs are expected to remain the same up to the maximum demand level. Requirement A1. Establish the demand function for air conditioning units. Please note, your demand function is your price function. Please note, your demand function is your price what function. Without wasting time, A Roman figure 1. demand function is P is equal to A minus BQ. You can use Q or X. Your P is equal to current price. Your A, price at which demand is 0. Your B, change in price divided by change in quantity. Your Q, your quantity. Examiner says at a price of 735, demand is 1,000 units. If the price increased by 15, change in price, demand will fall by 1,000. Please work this out. What do we have? 0.015. Is that not me? Hello. I hope we are there.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes,
And
sir.
let it not be that all of them, they have left me and they went to sleep. I mean, it's not impossible now. So people just on their video, on their bed, they're already sleeping now. Look. So let me be sure that you are there. Tosi. Okay, I can see Mike. Alabi, are you there too?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
We are here, sir. I'm here.
It's true. They just left the letter. I think tomorrow I'll watch the video, Joe. Still continue. So you need to get your unknown. My P 735 is equal to my A, I don't know, minus letter B 0.015. Quantity 1,000 units. 735 is equal to A minus 15. Collect like terms. A is equal to 735 plus 15, which is equal to 750. Therefore, our price function, P is equal to our letter A now, 750. Our letter B, 0.015Q. This is the demand function. You have resolved A Roman figure 1. A Roman figure 2. Calculate the marginal cost for each air conditioning units after adjusting the labor cost as required by the note above. Requirements A2. Calculation of marginal cost per units. For this question, the problem is labor cost. Material cost is 42 naira per unit. Labor cost is 12 naira per unit for the first unit. Look at it. The first unit. Look at examiner says the first air conditioning unit took 1.5 hours to make. Labor cost is 8 naira. This 12 naira is for the first air condition produced. But the examiner says any pricing decision about the energy booster should be based on the time it takes to make the 100 units. That means I want to know the time it's going to take for that unit that will complete 100. If I count 1, 2, 3, I will now get to 99 units. I will now produce one more. That one unit to complete 99. What is the labor time for that? Because there is learning curve. Because there is learning curve. Although we are trying to manage time. But I need to explain this briefly. You are still going to do it as a topic. What is learning curve? What is the concept of learning curve? Learning curve explains that when you are involved in repetitive tasks, when you are involved in repetitive tasks, the labor time spent will reduce as the employee gain experience and knowledge on the job. If you produce the same product every day, you are going to get used to that production. The hours spent on production will reduce because as human being, you are going to get knowledge, you are going to develop experience, dexterity on the job. If you get to a point, you are going to achieve stability. Examiner says, we are the first unit produced. We take us 1.5 hours. But we have a learning curve of 95%. That means the hours will continue to reduce until we get to the 100 units. Until we get to the 100 units. Now, how do we resolve this? There is a learning curve formula that we are going to introduce. Please bear in mind, we are still going to treat this as a topic. Learning curve theory. Mr. Juan will take you through this. But for the purpose of solving this question, you now need to come here. Labor cost adjusted for learning effects. Look at learning curve formula. Y is equal to ax raised to power b. Your y is cumulative average time. Your small letter A for this, for learning curve, small letter A is time taking for the first unit. Letter X, total of units in the learning process. Your letter B, learning coefficients. Now, for me to be able to get the time, I'll now say calculate total time taken for the first 100 produced. What is total? Y is equal to A S raised to Y is equal to my A. Time taken for the first unit, 1.5 hours. Multiplied by X, number of units in the process, 100 units. My B, 0.07400005. That is given in the question. Negative 0.074000, okay, 30. The average time per unit. Please apply your calculator. We have 1.5 multiplied by 100 raised to power minus 0.07400005. You are going to get 1.0668. Y is equal to 1.0668. This is the average time per unit. What is the total time for 100 units? Total time for first 100 units is equal to 1.0668 multiplied by 100. We have multiplied by 100. What do we have?
106.68
hours. This is the hours for the first 100 units. Next, go and calculate time for the first 99 units. You know, I'm looking for that last unit that will complete 100. Look at this. Calculate total time for first 99 units. 100 minus 99 will give me 1. The last unit that will complete 100. Total time for first 99. Y is equal to A 1.5 hours. That is the time for the first unit. multiply by, now your X is now how many units? 99. Your B minus 0.0740005. Please, what is the average time per unit for the first 99? 1.5 multiplied by 99 raised to power minus 0.0740005. You are going to get y is equal to 1.0676. This is the average time per unit for first 99. Total time for first 99. Total time for first 99 units is equal to 1.0676 multiplied by 99. Yeah, 1.0676 multiplied by 99. You are going to get 105.69 hours. So, if you now want to get time for 100, look at the TH. That last unit that will complete 100 is equal to time for first 100, 106.68 minus 105.69. This is the difference. That will give you 0.99 hours. That is spent to produce that last unit that will complete 100 units. After 99, I will now need to produce one more to complete 100. That is the time for the last unit. Examiner says any pricing decision about the energy booster will be based on the time taken to produce the 100 units. You can now get your marginal cost. That 1.5 hours is for the first unit. Therefore, our marginal cost per unit. Pick your direct material cost, 42. Your direct labor is equal to hours, 0.99 hours. What is the rate per hour? Multiply. You are going to get 7.92. Hello. Hello, I hope you are there.
Yes, sir.
We are with you, sir.
God
Yes,
will give you better understanding. The marginal cost per unit summation, 49.92. This is the marginal cost per unit. After we consider the effect of learning curve, look at it. Calculate the marginal cost for each air conditioning unit after adjusting the labor cost as required by the above notes. What is the above notes? Look at the above notes, sirs and madams. The first air conditioning unit took 1.5 hours to make. Labor cost 8 naira per hour. A 95% learning curve exists in relation to production of the units, although the learning curve is expected to finish after making 100 units. ICAN management have said that any pricing decision about the energy booster should be based on the time it takes to make the 100 stage, the last unit that will complete 100. We have just 1 minute. Examiner says requirement A3. Equate your marginal cost to your marginal revenue. We have gotten marginal cost. We need to get marginal revenue. Please give me 5 minutes. To get marginal revenue, I will need to start from my total revenue. To get marginal revenue, I will need to get my own total revenue. Look at it, please. A3. Total revenue is equal to price multiplied by quantity. Our price, we have gotten the price. The price is 750 minus 0.015 key. Total revenue price 750 minus 0.015 key into bracket price multiplied by quantity. Open your bracket. Total revenue Q multiplied by 750. 750 minus 0.001 Q squared. Now get your marginal revenue here. That is 1 multiplied by 751. That will give you Q raised to power 0. Q raised to power 0 is equal to 1. 1 multiplied by, the power here is 2. Power multiplied by the coefficients. 2 multiplied by 0.015, 0.003. No, it's just, this should be 1, not 2. Multiply by, so this is wrong. So this should be 0.03. Now, from this minus 1, you are left with 1 Q raised to power 1. A number raised to power 1 is equal to 1. Is equal to Q, that number. Your marginal revenue, you have gotten it. Equate marginal revenue to marginal cost. equates marginal revenue and marginal cost. Now equate marginal revenue 750 minus 0.03 Q. Our marginal cost 49.92. What is Q? Optimum quantity. You are equating these two so as to get the optimum quantity and the optimum price. What is Q? Collect like terms. 0.03 Q is equal to 49.92 minus 750. Please minus 49.92 minus 750. That will give me negative 0.03 Q is equal to negative 700.08. Negative cancel negative. What is your Q, please? Our Q is equal to 700.08 divided by 0.03. Please divide.
23,
You have
336.
23,000. Thank you. That is the optimum quantity. That quantity that will maximize your profit. 23,336 units. Then get your optimum price. Your price function is what? Our price function, go and check. Price is equal to 750 minus 0.015 Q. Now Q is what? Q is equal to 23,336. What is price? Price is equal to 750 minus 0.015 into bracket 23,336. Please work this out. Zero 0.015 multiplied by 23,336. That will give me
3.04.
740 minus 350.04. You can round up for convenience. P is equal to 750 minus 350. Our P is equal to 400. That is the optimum selling price. So, your optimum selling price, optimum price, 450. No, 400, sorry. That should be 400. No, 450. 400, 400. Then the optimum quantity. Optimum quantity, 23,336 units. You are done with this question. The C part is market penetration. You can go through the notes, please. After we share, look at the C part so that we can go to bed. The B part, I mean. Explain what is meant by penetration pricing strategy and market scheming strategy. Discuss whether either strategy might be suitable for East and Co. when launching the energy booster. We have done this severally. You can go through it. Penetration strategy, charging low price. Market scheme, charging high price. Now you now have to relate it to this company, ICAN Co. Discuss whether either strategy might be suitable for ICAN Co. Please, any question? Otherwise, we have to take it and step out. All right. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your patience. May God bless the effort we have taken. May God give us a better understanding. I will be checking out of this classroom. Good night and God bless.